Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mohawk Games off-road tournament. What is this? Semifinals. Soren versus Cubit. And of course, I'm joined by the wonderful Sailorman.
Hey, how's it going,
And we're
guys?
actually. This is actually the first game ever in the tournament to be playing reveal. The reveal map option.
And on
English.
beta 3, is it not?
Yeah, and this is beta 3. So first tournament game on here. So we're gonna have Soren versus Cubit. It's gonna be fairly interesting since Soren got a little bit better. Um, and Cubit is Cubit.
Yeah,
So
they still haven't nerfed him yet. He's still as strong as ever.
yeah.
Oh,
All
gotta
right.
say that drops to look
This
strange for the map, because he
this
was
looks
right.
really strange because I'm just looking right, and I just see a little bit of everything, but not enough carbon. So players probably need to go something iron heavy. It's going to probably be expensive because I can't really see a scientific go down.
Permits approved and cleared, sir.
Yep, there we go.
Feel
Cubit
free
going to
to
go
move
as a
accordingly.
scientific into the crater.
We will have the first
And-
families up and
Ooh.
running in no time.
Well, wait, where's Soren his iron?
Wait, where's that mine going?
All the way to the right. Sorry, to the left. Cross map.
Okay. That's gonna
Um.
be interesting.
All right, that's going to be very interesting.
I
So
think he's gonna get stuck at level 2. At level 1, sorry. This is really bad for Soren. This is
I'm just wondering what's going on right now. So Soren right now, he's not doing so hot. He's going to take the two mines all the way to the left. I mean, let's check out Cubit for a second. He has one 3 sec of iron. He has his 2 sec of aluminum. He has a steel mill going for him right now. He already bought his aluminum and tried to buy steel, while Soren bought his steel in, but that's about it. Like everything is just cross map. This is not going to cost like a lot of fuel.
It is, but at least Soren equalized the imbalance there. So basically what happened was with Cubit founding first, you would assume that Cubit would get all the cheap steel, and what he did instead was buy up to 80 aluminum and then buy about 20 steel.
Mm.
Soren then realised to just buy in the 80 steel first before Cubit, and now you actually see a bit of an advantage for Soren, where it naturally would have been there,
Well,
because Soren bought the cheaper steel.
yeah, yeah. Oh, actually going to upgrade
we see-
first.
Yep, and we see him get level 2 first. That should never really have happened.
Not really, no.
With the steel.
Also cool to see actually, like Cubit 41,000 debt, Soren not even over 10,000. So, like debt wise, I like that debt wise. Like, excuse me as I'm dying. Yeah, I kind of like that debt wise. Soren's gonna go ahead take the water of that half hex. Or that almost finished hex. But yeah, I'm kind of worried about the fuel usage of Soren right now, cause like it's only halfway, and he's already using 4 points of fuel, like 0.4 fuel. Like, that's quite a bit. While well, Cubit upgrades. Well, okay. The thing is, since it's going to take Soren a little bit, let's talk about Cubit here. What do you really want to see out of Cubit? Because he's going for
Basic
water,
expensive.
2 steel mills, 3 steel
Basic
mills.
expensive. He's just gonna sell the steel probably for his glass and the excess water that he has, and he'll use this to get level 3, and then after that he'll build farms or something. I imagine we'll see something fairly like standard. As for
Oh,
Soren,
silicon shortage.
we'll see him build the steel over the silicon. And whenever steel's not worth producing, we'll probably see him convert it into silicon, glass, etc.
I
Which is
actually like
actually
that.
pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. As for his water, I mean, he could do a few things. He could definitely do reactors and profiteer from the fact that his fuel consumption is an entire unit right now from freighters.
Wow, that's
Really high.
yeah. I can see that shooting up quite high, and also Cubit just got the one claim off the black market, so that's actually really cool to see that Cubit, I don't know, just wants to get more far ahead with his claims.
Yeah, and we see him going into the silicon. I mean, we see Soren go into 4 steel mills, which is all hot for the scientific at this point, but I'd really like to see him build the high silicon quarries attached to his base first. It would cost him nothing to do either, like if he just... Cause that way he can sell silicon while it's at almost 50.
The
and
thing
sell
is,
it down to
no,
go back
Cubit
into
actually was
steel.
floating over a quarry, and then Soren just wanted to snack that away from.
Yeah, but he built a
Cubit.
steel mill over it instead of the
Yeah,
actual quarry. Is what I'm concerned about. Because look how high silicon is. That's
yeah,
so
it's a
worth
50, and
making.
it's connected to his base too. Like for Cubit, it needs to be shipped.
Yeah,
For
he'd be able to
Soren,
get the
it's
highest value out of the sold silicon. So I'm not too sure on that particular move by Soren. I mean, I maybe feel that he just wants to try and get loads of steel up so that he can try and get ahead for upgrades, because he did pre-buy his 40 glass. And Cubit does have more glass in storage, but at the moment he's currently behind because he didn't produce as much steel.
I think Soren should go for. Ooh, where's this? I think this could serve Cubit a little bit more. But what I like to actually see out of Soren right now is to get a triangle of fuel, right? Triangle of reactors, and then is there a geothermal on this map? And then just maybe get a geothermal.
There's no geothermal.
And there's no geothermal.
He could easily do some solar plays with the amount of silicon production he could output, which is probably another argument.
But he doesn't
for
have
having...
silicon production right now. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what's
but
concerning me. Like one solar
steel's
panel would
dropping
cost
off.
for 1,000.
The steel's dropping off, and it's costing him way too much in the power. If you have a look,
Yeah.
and he's buying in the iron as well. The iron price is going up, which is great for Cubit because he's overproducing it.
He's doing something. There we go.
So
That's
yeah,
what we
there we
want to
go.
see.
We want to see some silicon quarries because this means that he can build solar plants for some power plays. Because he doesn't want Cubit to do that as a recovery method. Because I think that the early auctions have started to hurt Soren quite a bit on the debt front. Because before Cubit was ahead by a solid like 40k worth of debt, and now we actually see that Soren has surpassed Cubit in debt now, and it's starting to become a little bit of a problem, and it will only continue to grow as more of a
Each new
problem.
citizen
The more
of
of these
the
buildings he
nation
starts
grows.
building, like the reactors still consume 0.3 units of electricity each. It's effectively like running a steel mill, and he's still got 3 steel mills. He's gonna need to do some form of solar play or power play, yeah, with the silicon production he has. It's really good that it's connected to his base. It allows him to very easily get away with something like this. Like he could be doing it right now, where he's converting the steel tiles into solar during
Yeah.
the night, and that way when it comes to morning, all 3 are built, and you can maybe go for a diamond, maybe be a little bit aggressive.
So right
But
now,
we'll see how it goes.
I mean, Cubit during that aluminum shortage, actually, power surge going down
Ooh.
onto Cubit's food. That's quite a bit. That's a really strong power surge right there. But what I kind of realized is that,
The solar panels.
yeah, first of all, that's amazing for Cubit, and second of all, Soren is not buying into the shortages. As Cubit, he's devoting all of his money and resources into the shortage, and then try to make more
Yeah.
money. Like Cubit already got what was it now? Two or 3 black market claims.
Yep. Yeah, he's using it to seize a further advantage. I mean, I feel that Soren maybe hasn't played a lot of Beta 3. I wouldn't know run enough, but I think his decision to go into fuel first was maybe... I mean, it makes sense considering his fuel consumption. It's just that typically you find in Beta 3 that food is a far stronger option now with the increased starting price of it at 80.
Yeah, and also
I mean-
the glass, like it doesn't take as much.
Yeah, it takes half the amount of glass as it used to. I mean, the water shortage is actually really bad for Cubit, either way. And I think Soren putting as much money towards the lockdown as he is, he's just kind of stagnating right now. Like he doesn't have any of his glass for his next upgrade. He's not really got any real money kicking around. Like he's got nothing right now that makes him money. But if you have a wee look at Cubit, he's got water and food. And he's paying off a ton of his debt with the solar power because he's got a lot more than Soren does.
Well, what I kind of like right now is that Soren is kind of wanting to stop Cubit making anything right now,
Yeah,
which I
feel
actually
it was
really
a
like.
misplay. Because, like, hitting the farms, like, I can understand hitting the farms the first time, but that second one really needed to go on solar power. Look at the debt difference it's created. Cubit's on 42k, and Soren is now on 121k, and his stock price is rapidly dropping, and he's still taking in auctions.
Yeah. Yeah, so Cubit is going to get this claim from the auction, which actually brings him about half to Soren's debt, which is still a lot.
That auction
Soren
was actually really big.
Soren right now, the only thing that's really going for him is that he's on silicon, right? Like
Yeah.
he just can switch out, all of his stuff, like as he just did. But I don't know. I think it came a little bit too late, and also he just bought in so much steel. Just bought in so much steel.
Yeah, as this is the problem with having tiles that are too versatile, because you want everything on them, and you can't have everything on them at once. I mean, like, the power is still going really high, and the solar flare is actually kind of bad once, because Cubit's scrapped his solar panel, so it's maybe a bad time to have done that. But he's going to make all the silicon money, and we see Cubit bought into the shortage again. You know, he's, as you said earlier, he's taking every advantage that he can get his hands on right now, and we do see him rotate back into the solar panels. Now, that probably cost him a little bit of money to have been switching, swapping like that, of having deleted them previously. But I think that auction for the water pump was massive, because that water shortage early, it kind of made it so that Cubit's food production wasn't as worth making, because he didn't have the water production to properly support all these farms. He still doesn't, really. But it's still a strong move.
So a couple of things. First off, the EMP hitting Soren right now, for the price it was 4,000. The beginning price. I don't really, even that I don't really.
Amazing.
Well, it was amazing, sure, but like
panels.
still, like the you know, the anti-scientific thing going on there. And then again, like the silicon price right now at 95, because Cubit went into silicon and then he went back, back into solar panels.
It was due to the solar flare at the time. I think that's why he actually hit Soren Johnson's panels, because it was decreasing his debt by over a K a second, and then Cubit was able to kind of make that. So again, he's just furthering the debt difference. Soren has 3 times as much as Cubit does, and it didn't start that way.
But still, Cubit is just switching around a little bit too much with the solar panels right now, because you just switched over again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit hard though, because the scientific isn't really going to want to produce silicon. In fact, I argue that Soren probably should, because he could make...
He can make a lot of money right there.
He could make a lot, yeah. It's all connected to his base as well, again. So he could make all the silicon money, then the glass money. I really liked Cubit's move when he upgraded to level 4 though, because Soren upgraded, had to buy in loads of steel. Cubit upgraded, had to buy in a good bit of steel. And so what he does is he just goes into like 9 steel mills, because iron's really cheap, and he's gonna stockpile this up. He's gonna wait maybe till Soren goes into steel again and then just dump it, or he'll just use it for his own upgrades. And yep, there we go. He's gonna make it so Soren can't upgrade.
What I'd like, if you check out Q right now, like he switched out his solar panels. He's going to go into silicon, while Soren is going a little bit aggressive here with his stock, with his stock buys. But the thing is, what I like to see out of Soren right now is just switch out the solar panels. Do it. That's so much. That's 8 silicon right there, just the solar panels tiles.
Yeah, I mean, and if you think about it, like the amount of time he could have just mined the silicon, and then if power becomes a problem again, he can just switch out and defend it properly, and he'd be fine. I mean,
Look at silicon.
The big problem he has right now is he went really aggressive there, and he doesn't have any follow up. I mean, we do see him buy into the water shortage now, so he is actually buying into the shorts now.
100 and look, silicon is still high. It was at 150, just dropped off to 100, but still, like silicon normally doesn't get this high because in a 1 versus 1 everywhere there's silicon. But Cubit right now, taking the advantage of the silicon, is going to go ahead get a off-world. He's already getting off-world at this stage, and he's going to go into electronics, while Soren, he's still, same old. Like, sure, he has farms going for him. Sure, he has reactors. Sure, he has the patent lab right now of teleportation. But then again, like, solar, not that much worth right now. Glass, still going for him. But I think he could have made a really, really big move there with just switching out his solar panels at night. And even making more money than Cubit right there. To silicon alone.
I mean, we see the colonies actually had a fairly drastic effect on the electronics price this game, having 5+ offices up. It's been most of the colony's offices, which has helped the power consumption on the map, and the fact that electronics are 300 almost, and being sold down by Cubit. I think Soren went too aggressive here at the end, because what he has now is he has stocks in Cubit, but he doesn't have any follow-up money to finish this off. Cubit is going to have the follow-up money. He's making more money on world, and now he has an off-world as well, just to add that extra bit of pain. And oxygen's amazing to sell, food is amazing to sell, fuel's okay, but it's a really good off-world game.
Yep. I mean, cubit right now, he's just gonna go into carbon. He's gonna stay into electronics for probably a longer while now. He's actually making more electronics. While Soren just switched out his solar. Wants to switch out his solar panels. Um, just after all of this, cubit is very far ahead, even though 70% of his stocks are already taken.
Yeah. It's gonna be really easy for cubit as well. I mean, Soren's value is just gonna keep depreciating. He's 171k debt now.
Yeah.
Keeps becoming more and more of a problem.
Soren right now is gonna go into chemicals.
The black market is online.
I think this is an okay move.
It's an
Mostly
okay move, just because
yeah.
you produce a little bit more chemicals than you do with electronics.
I mean, oh yeah, that as well. But I mean, the electronics is quite arguably a little bit better. I mean, he does have his own fuel, which is I don't know about those tiles maybe because I don't know. They're not making that much money.
Well,
Not
he's
much.
making 173. Sorry, 190 net revenue, while
Yeah.
Cubit
But
only
he's-
makes
He's driving up the
85.
carbon price though.
that. Yeah.
Carbon that he isn't supplying to his base. This isn't sustainable. He isn't going to be able to sustain this for very long. Soren.
Yeah.
Which is great for Cubit because Cubit's the one who's making all the carbon right now.
Oh, Cubit actually power surging the chemical labs.
Yep.
Cubit still has a nuke queued up. What do you think he's gonna hit? Like, he doesn't really have anything to hit now.
It might have just been one of those things where you misclick. I don't think he specifically aimed to hit anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he should maybe look at more. I think he doesn't have any claims or enough, but his aluminum aluminum consumption is very high with the amount of electronic factories he has. It's never something I generally never think about when I build electronic factories, but aluminum is one of the inputs, and Soren's high aluminum mine will be doing some serious work for him right now. Yeah, it's one of the most valuable tiles in his entire base.
Yeah.
It's that aluminum mine, so I don't know, maybe Cubit just wants to nuke it down a little bit. I'm not too sure though.
Also, Soren right now is getting carbon scrubbing. He's going to have that in about 30 seconds.
Oh, that
Ooh,
mutiny.
the mutiny. The mutiny,
I think
very,
Cubit
very
has to blow
powerful.
it up or mutiny it back. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't let Soren away with something like that. That's far too important.
All the money.
But I mean, we just see Soren wallowing in poverty right now in his chem labs. While they're still making a good bit of money, he isn't making anywhere near enough money to even threaten to buy out on Cubit. And power is ridiculously high.
Ooh, he's
once
actually
more.
he's actually
And
going to go
Cubit's
into
already ahead of
electronics now. I don't really agree with that because then you have like really pretty much two resources that you like with electronics. Like you're not going to make that many electronics to begin with. So overall, I just say go into more chemicals because you're going to just power out in that resource.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
now with
especially
the yeah.
no, sorry, especially with his
Oh.
carbon production being as high as it already was, and the fact that Cubit, look at you can even see how many electronic factories he had there. He had 2 diamonds and a triangle. Like that was just a really bad move, I think. I think he panicked at the end there. He wasn't sure what to do and what to go into, and Cubit was just always that step ahead. Like we saw, power was at 200. Cubit had his triangle with solar panels out. Soren didn't, and things like this. These kind of small victories. I think he started off really, really well. And the way he seized that early advantage away from Cubit, and it kind of equalized. But I think
I think
a
since
few
the silicon
questionable
shortage,
decisions and being unable to convert
Yeah.
all his tiles to everything that he needed at the time was maybe what let him down this game.
I think since there's silicon shortage, it kind of went downhill.
Yeah.
So overall, I'm like if you look at Cubit's tab, like made a lot of money in electronics from the shortages and whatnot, and then just carbon. He actually bought in a lot of carbon, but also sold a lot of carbon. Then just steel and food, power, and the off-worlds. He purchased a lot of power, but he also sold a lot more power. So that's good to watch.
Yeah, the Triangle of Solar did a lot of work, and Soren never hit it. I don't understand why. Like, especially when that day when it was a solar flare.
Yeah.
That was Soren's chance to kind of bring back the debt that he'd accumulated, because like it's gonna lock down Cubit's panels for a long time, and they were never gooned ever. Like
Yeah.
the goon squads just weren't ever there for Cubit. So
Ooh, for Soren, if you go check out Soren, like power, not very good. He already made a very big deficit right there, and then overall, he's sold a lot of a little decent amount of everything. But then again, like steel, carbon, just wasn't enough. And then also buying out Cubit. I think he could have reinvested that into himself or maybe into the black market and kind of could have gotten a lot farther, like Cubit
Yeah.
did.
I think he just tailed off. He didn't have like as long as Cubit was able to get a couple of the defense stocks, he was always gonna outpace Soren after that in terms of making money. I think maybe he felt he had to close the game quickly before Cubit just kind of destroyed him as Expansive does. When it comes to the late game phase, you can't outproduce them. It is impossible. So you kind of have to rely on maybe
Yeah.
getting advantages over them in other ways. But I definitely felt it was maybe a little bit too early.
So the black market usage. So out of Soren, it's going to be one claim, one EMP, two power surges, one underground nuke, one mutiny, and two goon squads for 50,000. Um, why not? I guess.
It's alright. It's a lot
he
of
was very
everything.
aggressive. Which is actually really good. Like he got the value out of a lot of stuff here.
Ah, definitely. I mean, the EMP was alright. I really would have liked to have seen hit the solar panels though. I
You
mean,
have the power surge, yeah.
yeah. I mean, his claim was a really bad one though. He didn't get much value on that one claim for 12,000.
Yeah.
Cubit
Yeah,
had already bought
Cubit got
two
all of that
previous to
worth right
that,
there.
and he's expansive as well, which makes it all the worse. Like when the expansive guy who naturally already has a claim advantage over you has already bought the first two in the black market. That's never somewhere you want to be right now. I mean, you can, if you have a look at the map, you can see like how much of a difference that made for Cubit. You look around the map, his carbon quarries, his water, how many tiles he had in his base, and Soren's was very small, compact, and he didn't have very much going for him by the end there.
So if you check for QA right now, it's three new claims, one EMP, one power surge, one mutiny, and two goon squads. I think he got a lot more worth out of that, and
Yeah, it
just in
was
general.
very defensive play as well with the three claims and two good squads as well.
Yeah. So any last words to that?
No, that was just a really good game. I mean, Soren was always going to have an uphill battle after Cubit took the expansive spot and Soren decided to go scientific.
Hmm.
I feel like he did deal with it really well at the start, and he just kind of he couldn't convert his base into everything, and that's what he needed. He needed to be in everything at once, and he physically couldn't do it. So I think that's kind of what started to let him down, and then he was starting to fall behind on transitions. But overall, that was a really good first game.
Excuse me. Alright guys, so that was game number 1 of the best of 3 of the semifinals, Cubit versus Soren. Hope you enjoyed that. If so, hit that like button and also leave a comment down below. So guys, see you in game number 2. Peace out.
Yeah, guys.